Good day, I'm Chuck Faint. I'm here with Henry Douglas. He's a retired math teacher and a pretty doggone good cribbage player, and he's going to teach me cribbage this morning. Got a little outline here I'm trying to go by. Cribbage is a fun and easy to learn card game for all ages, and it's important when you're playing cribbage to choose a deck of cards and a cribbage board. Though I just want to say real quickly, I have in a pinch used a piece of styrofoam and marked the holes with an ink pen and used 4 toothpicks, but we're not going to do that today. We're actually going to use a cribbage board, and I'm going to let Henry talk to you for just a minute and tell you about the kind of cards we use in the board, and then he's going to teach me how to count and peg and play cribbage. Henry, you're up.
All right, well, cribbage is a unique card game. It's unlike any other card game there is. The board is used to keep the score on, and you play it with a regular deck of 52 cards. There's several phases to the game. You cut for deal, and then you deal 6 cards to each player, and then each player puts 2 cards in what they call the crib, and then you play the hand, and then you count the hand, and then the other player deals the next hand, and you start all over. The most important part of the game is the counting of the hand. A cribbage hand is 5 cards, 4 in your hand, and 1 turned up. This is called the hand, and this is called the cut card, and this card counts with this hand, and it would also count with his hand over there. The cribbage counting of hands, anything that adds up to 15 counts 2 points. You just, the ace is always low, so this would be the face cards, and 10 count 10 points, so this would be 10 plus 4 plus 1 would be 15, and that would count 2 points. Anything that adds up to 15 counts 2 points, like any amount of cards, a 10, 2 deuces, and an ace would count 2 points as far as the 15 goes. If you had a 7 and an 8 would add up to 15, that would count 2 points also. What you can't do is to say 8 plus 7 is 15 for 2, and then turn around and say 7 plus 8 is 15 for 4. That would only be 115. If you had another 7 in there, this 8 of hearts with the 7 of clubs is a 15 for 2. The 8 of hearts with the 7 of spades is a 15 for 4. So as far as 15 goes, this would be a 15 for 2. 15 for 2 more makes 4. And you accumulate the 15s in a hand.
So any combination that makes 15 would be 2 points.
Any combination that makes 15 would be 2 points.
And then I could move 2 peg holes. Okay.
And you could move 2 peg holes.
All right.
If you had, wherever they are, if you had 3 5s, would add up to 15. That would be a 15 for 2. If you had a face card with this, these 3 5s would be a 15 for 2. Then this jack and this 5 would be a 15 for 4. This jack with this 5 would be a 15 for 2 more, would make 6. This jack and this 5 would be another 15 for 2, would make 8. So this would be a 15 for 2, 4, 6, 8, as far as 15s go. The next thing that counts in cribbage is pairs. Any pair counts 2 points. A pair of aces, a pair of jacks, a pair of fives, any pair would count 2 points. If you had trips, three jacks would be 3 pair. The jack of spades with a jack of hearts, the jack of spades with a jack of diamonds, a jack of hearts with a jack of diamonds. So that would be 6 points. So trips, 3 of a kind, count 6 points. If you had 4 of them, which is the most that you can have, the other jack is in here somewhere.
We hope.
No, it's got to be here somewhere.
There
it is. If you had 4 of a kind, these 3 would count 6 points. So you put this jack with a jack of spades as 2 more would be 8. With a jack of hearts would be 2 more would be 10, and with a jack of diamonds would be 2 more would be 12. So 4 of a kind counts 12. Pair is 2, 3 of a kind is 6, 4 of a kind is 12. You can memorize those numbers, 2, 6, and 12, but you need to know where they come from. Another way of doing that would be to think about these as being in a square corners and count them as pairs. Pair here, pair here, pair here, pair here. The diagonals would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Wow,
So
very good.
4 of a kind counts 12.
I never saw it put like that.
All right. Well, you're just learning, aren't you?
Well, I've played a few games. I've been playing a long time, but never saw it put like that. Good way to put it.
Okay, the next thing that counts in cribbage is a run. Any run of 3, like a 2, 3, 4, would count 3 points. Any run would be 3 points. If you had a run of 4, would be 2, 3, 4, 5, would be 4 points as far as the run goes. If you had a run of 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that would count 5 points. The king is always high. King, queen, jack counts 3 points. The 9, king, queen, jack, 10 would count 4 points. And if you had the 9 with it, it would count 5 points. What you can't do is to do ace, king, queen.
You already said it was low.
Yeah, ace is always low.
So ace is like a 1.
Right. When you're counting your hands, after you count all your 15s, you look to see if you have a pair. If you have a pair, and a run, after you count all your 15s and get that total, you look to see if you have a pair. If you have a pair, you look to see if it's involved in a run. For example, this pair of 6s is not involved in the 10 jack queen. So this would be a pair for 2, and a run for 3 would be 5. That's the only way that you can have a pair and a run that are separate, is to have a pair that counts 2 and a run of 3 that counts 3 would be 5. Of course, one of these would be the cut card that would be away from the 4 in the hand. The next thing that can happen is that you can have a run of 3, like the 10 jack queen. You can have a run of 3 and you can have a pair. Here, the pair of tens is involved in the run of 10 Jack Queen. So this would count, this pair would count 2. Then you had a run of 3, 10 Jack Queen would count 3. Then you had this run of 3. 10 of diamonds, Jack Queen would be 3 more. So this would be pair for 2, this run of 3, this run of 3 would be 3 more, would be a total of 8. This is the key to cribbage. This is called a double run. This is a double run for 8. You have a pair and you have the pair involved in a run of 3, which is called a double run for 8. So instead of counting it as 2 plus 3 plus 3, you just look at it and call it 8. The next thing that can happen, before I go on, it doesn't matter whether the tens are paired or whether the jacks are paired. This would be a pair of jacks is 2, and this run of 3, and this run of 3 is still 8. And if you had another queen in there, it would still be a double run for 8. The next thing that can happen, this is only 4 cards, the next thing that can happen is that you have a run of 4 involving a pair. This would be a double run for the pair counting 2. 9, 10, Jack, Queen is 4. 9, 10, Jack, this Queen is 4. So that would be 2 plus 4 plus 4. This would be a double run for 10.